Manchester United played out yet another big game goalless draw in a drab encounter with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge over the weekend. The 0-0 was tactically intriguing, with Solskjaer and Tuchel both getting the better of each other at various points in the game, but produced little in the way of entertainment for the neutral. The result means that United have now failed to score in each of their last 6 meetings against so-called Big Six opponents, with the recent goalless draws against Liverpool, Arsenal, and now Chelsea seeing them fall way off the pace in the title race after being top of the table at the end of January. United have netted only once in such games this season, that goal being the Bruno Fernandes penalty in the 6-1 thrashing at home to Tottenham Hotspur back in October. United have managed to tighten up at the back since then, conceding only 1 goal in their next 6 games against the Big Six, that being Pierre Emmerick Aubamayang's penalty and the Gunners' win at Old Trafford back in November, and are unbeaten in their last 4 games against these opponents. However, their seeming inability to score is in stark contrast to how they performed in such games previously under Solskjaer. Last season, United won 5 out of 10 games against fellow Big Six teams, drawing 3 and losing just twice, taking an average of 1.8 points per game and scoring on average 1.5 goals per game. Only champions Liverpool fared better in the mini-league. This season, they are without a win in 7 games and are averaging 0.7 points per game and a paltry 0.14 goals per game. But what has been the cause of this rather drastic decline in performance in big games? Were United mentally scarred after the humiliating 6-1 loss to Spurs, as Roy Keane has suggested? Have they been poorly set up tactically? Or have they just not been good enough? Beautiful Goal TV takes a look.
What a finish! Beautiful goal.
Last season, United were oddly more comfortable in the big games than when facing teams who sat back in a low block. Teams like Chelsea, Spurs and Man City always looked to play on the front foot, leaving lots of space in behind for United's rapid attacking trio of Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial and Mason Greenwood to exploit. However, this season has seen opposing managers more aware of United's threat on the counter and thus be better prepared for it tactically, typically being more cautious in attack by not playing as high a line and not committing as many numbers forward, making it difficult for United to find opportunities to counter. This cautious approach by opposing teams has meant that there is more onus on the United midfield to create. However, Solskjaer's continual selection of Fred and McTominay in midfield as a double pivot has seen United lack creativity from midfield. McFred, as the duo are known, provide crucial defensive solidity, shielding a back four which has been shaky at the best of times this season, and their good work breaking up opposition attacks is surely the key behind United's impressive defensive record in these games since the loss to Spurs. However, despite McTominay possessing something of a goal threat and Fred being a willing, if not accomplished, shooter from range, neither are adept at setting the tempo of the game and also lack the ability to play the defense-splitting balls from deep like Paul Pogba. The continued use of the McFred double pivot points to a lack of trust in his back four by Solskjaer, and the desire to thwart the attacking threats of the opponents being his main priority in big games has seen Paul Pogba deployed out of position on the wing in the recent draws against Liverpool and Arsenal, although an early exit from McTominay in the game at the Emirates saw Pogba shifted back to the centre, which is perhaps the reason why United looked much more of an attacking threat in the second half. Despite being in the ascendancy for much of the second half and creating decent looks at goal, United lacked the quality to take advantage of these chances, with Edinson Cavani missing 2 gilt-edged opportunities to claim all 3 points. It was a similar story at Anfield, where despite Liverpool dominating possession, United actually had the best chances to score, with Pogba and Bruno Fernandes being denied by Alisson at close range, when both probably should have scored. Against Chelsea, Fernandes was unusually out of sorts, perhaps owing to the strange decision to start him in the Europa League game against Real Sociedad in midweek, in a time where United were already 4-0 up from the first leg. He looked heavy-legged and off the pace, unable to produce the moments of magic which have typified his time at United. In fact, he twice failed to put Rashford through on goal in the second half, once passing the ball out of play altogether. Despite being by far United's most productive player in terms of goal involvements, Fernandes has struggled to make an impact in these big games. He has clearly been a revelation for United since arriving and is already well established among the very best players in the Premier League, but it is hard to ignore his underwhelming record in the big games. He's yet to score a Premier League goal against Manchester City, Liverpool or Chelsea. In fact, he has only scored 2 goals against Big Six opposition, both against Tottenham, and on average is having to wait over 200 minutes for each goal involvement in those matches, compared to one every 70 minutes against the rest of the Premier League. The absence of Cavani against Chelsea and the poor form of Anthony Martial saw Greenwood deployed as a number 9, but he struggled to affect the game. He is still developing in this position and has played most of his senior games on the wing, so it's not surprising then that his forward play lacks the intelligence of Cavani's. The Uruguayan's absence also meant United had no real aerial threat in the box from open play, so even when they created good crossing opportunities for Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, balls into the box had to be played along the ground, with Greenwood's lack of predatory instincts meaning they didn't lead to shots on goal. Indeed, a look at the average positions during the game reveals that Rashford was actually United's most advanced player against Chelsea. Overall, United simply lacked the sharpness, creativity and quality in the last third against Chelsea, which has been the common theme in all their games against the top sides this season. This is shown by the fact that despite their high press working to great effect in the first half, and United winning the ball 11 times in Chelsea's defensive third, they failed to capitalise, with their best chances coming from long-range shots by Rashford, Dan James and Fred, with McTominay taking their only shot from inside the box. So, how can United rectify these issues and start scoring in big games again? Edinson Cavani and Paul Pogba should be returning from injury soon, which should help United create chances from crosses and give them added creativity in midfield. If Solskjaer can move away from his reliance on McFred as a double pivot in midfield and instead deploy Pogba alongside either Fred or McTominay, or even as an 8 alongside Bruno, switching to a 4-3-3. With Pogba's return date from injury still unknown, this role could also be filled by the underutilized Donny van de Beek, who, despite lacking confidence due to his lack of game time, has the technical proficiency and creative quality to dovetail well with Fernandes and add more balance to an overly defensive midfield. Another potential solution would be starting Eric Bailly alongside the ever-present Maguire in these games. United have looked much more solid at the back with the Ivorian in the side instead of Victor Lindelof. Playing Bailly would alleviate some of the need to protect the back four, and thus the need for a McFred double pivot. However, Bailly's inability to stay fit means this is often not possible, highlighting United's need to sign a top-class centre-half to partner Maguire this summer. Realistically though, United's lack of attacking quality in the final third is not something which can be fixed this season. They lack a winger who can create from wide areas, with Greenwood and Rashford both being essentially wide forwards, and they lack a number 9 with intelligent movement off the ball and natural goal-scoring instincts. Cavani has been a good stopgap, but at his age, United should be looking for a long-term solution who can take Martial's place, or at least compete with him for a starting role. In an ideal world, both of these problems would be solved by United signing Erling Braut Haaland and Jadon Sancho. However, this is extremely unlikely for many obvious reasons, which we won't get into. However, if United are to improve their results in these games, they will need players capable of breaking down defenses, not just players who can be effective on the counter. Despite their notable shortcomings in attack, United have still managed to create decent scoring chances, even against Chelsea, but were rather wasteful. Bruno's failed through balls to Rashford and McTominay's failure to find a teammate with his cross when United had an attacking overload on the break in the last minute are examples of this wastefulness. In order to get goals, or better yet victories in these games, with their current attacking options, United will need to be much more clinical and take their chances when they come. But how do you think United can improve in big games? Do you think we missed anything? Should United give youngsters like Amad Diallo a chance in a big game? Or resort to using a player with more experience and guile, like Juan Mata, late on in these games? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button for more beautiful Goal TV in future. Thanks very much for watching. Take it easy, much love, and keep enjoying the beautiful game.